nobody's talking about when it comes to Alligator Alcatraz and all of these other detention centers is the fact that it actually has the potential to unalive all of us and possibly start a global pandemic that we could do absolutely nothing about. In layman's terms, just giving you a few examples, but historically, when you have people that close together without sanitation, running water, typically, diseases and stuff do break out, but it's far worse when you put them in a place like the Everglades because there's a very high mosquito population and a lot of animals that carry diseases in standing water, right? That's like why you have to get your dogs vaccinated for lepto and things like that. But when it comes to mosquitoes, those are almost all neurological diseases, right? Like Zika, they cause birth defects. They're really, really serious. And when you have different species crammed next to people really close together, right? Like that's why we had all of this xenophobia towards Asians when it came to COVID because of the wet markets. That's exactly what's happening in El Salvador and the Alligator Alcatraz. But the other thing that could happen is we still have this ongoing bird flu, and we don't know its preferential viral attachment in certain species. We just know that it has it, meaning it could be nipples, it could be lips, it could be their eyes. It just depends on a creature's cell makeup, right? But in humans, remember, it's in our lower lung, whereas the regular flu is in the top of your chest. And we know that we have under herd immunity for flu. And we know that ICE agents, right, they're not probably getting vaccinated. So what could happen is something called basically gene mixing. If it happens right in the part of the lung where the lower part, right, meets the upper part where the flu infection is. And that is basically what would cause, for example, a bird flu epidemic. And it would be far more lethal than, say, COVID or the traditional flu. Like, people don't understand that that's the tipping point with disease spread, is that, the gene exchange. And one of the circumstances that would be very likely to cause that is having a bunch of people unvaccinated and near other species. So this is kind of one area that I've kind of talked to Republicans about. Not that I should have to focus them, but the other thing nobody's considering is that the people that are going to these detention facilities working like ICE agents, they're not only going into what is an absolute cesspool with at least 15 different diseases that could break out into an epidemic, but then they're going out into the general public, then back, then out, then back. And sometimes it makes me wonder if the gloves and the masks are because they know this, and maybe it's like part of the plan. I don't know. But this is really, really dangerous, not just for us, but for the entire world, right? Because what else are we doing? We're sending them on confined airplanes, tubes in the skies, to countries all over the world. Oh, and remember, we don't have USAID. And right now we have RFK going over our vaccine schedule. So this is a fucking code red for health for every living person on the planet and most of the animal population. And if this doesn't work on your fellow peachy pallid friends, let them know that all of these things also unalive dogs. Help me get the message out because it's important.